And now you want to stand up? Now you want to say to KD, we're not going to kowtow and man, applesauce, alfalfa, and that's not what I want to say.
On today's Wind Up Wednesday edition of the Odd Coaches Podcast, Dr. Adams and Coach Francis discuss NBA offseason news and notes, as well as previewing the WNBA playoffs. Welcome to today's show. The Odd Coaches Podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Greetings and salutations and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today, back from the 3-week birthday binge, is my tag team partner.
3 week.
The Alexa Bliss to my Oscar, because no one's ready for Oscar as we vie for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. The icon, the showstopper, the main event, and the reason why we are here, Coach Mike Francis. And Coach, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well.
See, unlike my partner, I work on my birthday, baby. And we are all celebrating Boss Day across the country and around the globe. And all donations to CKA are tax deductible. Anyway, on today's Wind Up Wednesday edition of the Odd Coaches Podcast, we're going to talk about NBA offseason news. We're going to do a preview of the WNBA playoffs. And we're just going to have some fun because I haven't talked to my boy in a long time. So a lot of side jokes will happen. But, Coach, really quickly, last week, did something different on the show, something we talked about, though. So it's not different to us, but it was different to our audience, where we took a topical issue. Last summer, the topical issue we took on was the NBA 75 team. And we did weeks on the NBA 75 team. And I'm kind of glad we did, because with a lot of the old heads passing away, like Bill Russell, we gave them flowers live, baby.
Yeah.
Like, there's no doubt about Bill Russell. I don't even want you to talk about it. So last week we talked with good friends of the show, Coach Sam Brown from Frostburg State University, Riley Ainge, my old high school teammate and Mount St. Mary's Hall of Famer, and Will Maynard,
Shout out Riley
high
Ainge,
school in Harwood, Maryland. And we talked about the state of basketball, and we talked a lot of things, but I wanted to give you just the opportunity in a summation to kind of give your brief thoughts, if you wanted to, just kind of where we are with basketball right now, and know that in future episodes, we're going to do more of these things as the opportunities present itself. But Coach, did you want to add any thoughts on your thoughts on the current state of basketball, and I will do the same.
I think these guys summed it up pretty good. It's a lot of it's changed. The landscape has changed. Last time I was a head coach, you didn't have a lot of people involved. Well, I didn't, but that's just the way I operate. Like I don't care. Like, apply for the job when it's open if you want to coach, and if not, so what? Now as assistant coach, it's a little different now. Parents call coaches and stuff like that, and I really didn't have that problem. Only time someone called me is when they were looking to transfer, or they was upset because I didn't give them what they want. So it is what it is. But as far as AAU is concerned, I think AAU gets too much blame. I think the high school coaches get too much blame. I just think all the way around the parents are really, really over-involved, the helicopter parents. I never, ever, ever went at a coach for AJ. I never complained about his playing time. None of that. Like, I focus all my attention on him, and my critique was on him. And I let him have the relationship with his coaches. I didn't want to ruin that because I am a coach and I know how it is. So I never told him, hey, y'all should be doing this, y'all should be doing that. I don't know why I've never had that conversation with him, and don't didn't intend to since he's been 14. I've let his play speak for itself, and everything that's meant for him is going to come to him, and not because of conversation I have with somebody. So
Yeah.
basketball is more parent involved now, but I'm not just basketball. All sports, now are more parent involved. I think coaching tennis was an eye opener because the parents were so supportive. No matter what, we never won a match. They were there. They made sure we had everything we needed. Like they took it as it was. It was a great form of exercise. It was a form of these kids being able to interact socially with people. Like yeah, it was like one of the best times I ever had coaching. I ain't gonna lie to you. Tennis, the 2 seasons I did tennis was the best. It was the best.
Yeah. Um, for me, and as we do episodes like this, it was about the guests. It wasn't about me. But the one thing that continues to cause me pause because we have these conversations on an ongoing basis is what's the end goal?
Mm,
Because you spend money, you spend time from the time they're 5, 6, 7 years old. You have invested all of the trainers and the damn cones. Okay, you
mm.
know how I feel about cones on the court. I'm
Stop, man.
still
Stop.
mad.
Cones are
Every
good.
damn drill has. Man, I ain't never seen this many cones in my. What is this? Construction site? But
Cones
anyway,
and chairs, man. Cones and chairs, man. You got to
I,
use them, man.
I digress. But I work and you work with so many student athletes, and I'm stuck on basketball right now.
Mm.
That at the end of the rainbow, last episode of Good Times is called The End of the Rainbow. What did you get out of it? What did you get out of all the time? So recently, I had a chance to catch up with some hood players, former hood players, and we have these relationships with our players. And our college guy relationships are different, in my opinion, than my high school guys' relationship. Because high school, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, that's when you get them. But college, it's 18, 19, 20, 21. They're men. They're not
Mm.
little boys. And they were remarking that husbands, fathers, coaches, coach, I don't have my job without you because you pushed me to get the degree. You pushed this, you pushed that, and it was very humbling to hear that. So as I listened to Will and Sean and Riley just go through the gamut of what's going on with sports, I kept going back to the end goal. Why are we doing all of this? Because if it's to get to the league, good blankety blank luck, because that's a pipe dream. But did you use basketball or did basketball use you? So for me, the biggest piece is people understanding the end goal and what they can do with all of this basketball that they've played. And same
Mm.
thing with the parents. They're as loud at a game. I wish they was that loud at the PTA meeting because I
Exactly.
never see them at
Exactly.
the PTA meeting, but at the game, you gonna complain about playing time.
Or
But
the booster club, or the booster club meeting. We had 7 people in our booster club, athletic booster club, when I took over the job at me. Seven,
hmm
7
yes,
people.
and you were fundraising for everything, and yes,
Yeah.
totally.
And you had to
Uh,
you got to have a kid in the program in order to be a part of it. That's the problem. I think they need to change that policy. Could you take
wow.
people like myself and other people, alumni, who really, really want to see you to move forward? Like that's a goal.
All right, thank you for that, man. And now let's get on to this week. Bill Russell.
Mm.
Ah, the NBA will honor the legacy of Boston Celtics legend Bill Russell by retiring his number 6 for all 30 teams. Um, Russell becomes the first player to have his jersey retired league wide. And Mike, I hope teams take the next step to put a number 6 in the rafters in all 30 arenas. I hope they take
Yeah,
that step. Additionally, their players are going to wear a patch on their jerseys, along with the other 400 advertisements that's coming. And the Celtics are going to do something differently. And remember, the Finals Award is named after him, and it's been named after him since 2009. So, fans, we're educators. Knowledge is to be shared. So, let me tell you, as you have all of your GOAT debates, discussions, and so forth, a little bit about Mr. Russell. 13-year playing career, all with the Celtics. 11-time NBA champion, named NBA MVP 5 times,
Mm,
11-time All NBA. He
mm,
was a player coach in '66 and led the Celtics to back-to-back championships in '68 and '69 while getting minutes. Okay, he's getting minutes and he's coaching.
mm,
Uh, to this day, he remains the second all time in NBA history in rebounds with over 21,000 and rebounds per game at 22 and a half. He is also the leading rebounder in NBA postseason history. And don't forget, he won in college at San Francisco and Olympic gold medal. So that's just a player. That's just put that in a box. But off the court, he was known for his work in civil rights. He
mm.
marched with Dr. King. So
Yes.
think about it. He's a professional athlete in the height of his career, and he's marching. Stood with Ali
Mm-hmm.
and received the Presidential Medal of Freedom from Barack Obama. So before I turn it over to you, um, here's just some thoughts that I have, man, on Bill Russell. The max contract has players being paid like they're great.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Russell was great.
Mm-hmm.
These are some good guys, but they ain't doing that, Mike. The style of play and entering the league at a younger age has inflated stats. So when we
Mm-hmm.
start talking stats, well, it's a different game. And it's hard to compare eras as we did I thought we did an outstanding job with the top 75. I thought we were fair. I thought we, outside of the Bob Cousy piece, but I'm going to let that one go. Hey, Lamar, I hope you're well. Anyway, he was also the first player in league history um, to have his number retired. He had on court dominance, off court impact, well deserved, job well done. And our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and friends. Coach, you have the last word on Mr. Russell, sir.
I think he was what we see now from LeBron is what Bill Russell was doing then prior to social media and all the coverage as far as the league is concerned. So a lot of people didn't like it. I think the story he told about going to speak at a country club in Boston, in Massachusetts, and then asking someone about the houses, how much they cost, and he was thinking about buying one, and they told him no, he could never live in that community because he was a Negro. Like, you can have me speak at your country club, but I can't, I can't purchase a home in there. So the things he went through, I think that's what pushed uh, his energy. That's what he got energy from for social change. Being with Muhammad Ali, always speaking out, and winning, like really, really, really winning. And
Winning.
we talk about no scandals, nothing, no. I mean, 11, man, 11, like 11 to average 22 rebounds, like
That's just walk on the court
yeah, yeah,
every
like
night.
that's a career high that can get you a max contract for one night. This dude did it every night. Come on, man. And then, like, I think what's really upsetting to me is I don't get to see his work. Like, I saw some of his work recently, like within the last couple months. There are some highlights that they put in color, like they redid them, you know, almost like that Disney stuff.
Yeah,
And
Turner
man,
did that first. Yeah,
he was Giannis Antetokounmpo in the '60s. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the way he was. His game was like that, man. He was unbelievable, man. God bless him, and I'm glad we had him for the time we did. And we're lucky that he put forth so much for these current NBA players to actually reap the benefits.
yes, indeed. All right, we're going to go to the current NBA and start off with our favorite franchise. The Brooklyn Nets are still in the news. So, Brooklyn Nets governor Joe Tsai voiced his support for his front office and coaching staff after Kevin Durant said choose between him and the team's general manager and coach. So he met with Durant in London, according to media sources, and Durant wants to be traded. Okay. It didn't work out with Nash and general manager Sean Marks.
Mm,
Durant asked for a trade June 30th, haven't backed off that trade request. Durant is 33 now, Mike.
mm,
He has 4 years and $198 million left on his contract. Brooklyn does not have to do anything. Before I
mm,
tag to you, this has been bothering me, so I get to get some stuff off my chest with my partner here.
mm,
So the Brooklyn Nets hired Steve Nash, who was an inexperienced coach, and he showed his inexperience all season. And when he got the job, we spoke on the show, which is cool to say, Mike, that we actually did talk about this on the show.
mm,
And I'm saying, man, this is not a good move because it's a first time coach, and I don't know if he's up for the job. Just because you played well and won MVPs, whatever, doesn't mean it's going to work. So the Brooklyn Nets were the ones to allow Kyrie to play. That was them. Kyrie didn't do anything different.
mm.
So, like any child, like any employee, like any person in any life, you do what you're allowed to do. So he said, I'm not getting vaxxed. The Nets stood strong and said, we're going to not play these games. And then looked at the record and said, well, we'll change. So Kyrie won. All right. You traded James Harden. You had all of these guys, you had all of this, and you made that change. The Nets brought in Ben Simmons. Okay. And now you want to stand up? Now you want to say to KD, we're not gonna kowtow and man, applesauce alfalfa, and that's not what I want to say.
Man,
Okay,
yeah,
people only do what you let them do. This is
exactly.
their caused mess. This is a self-created mess, and yesterday's solutions lead to today's problems. And enjoy the Brooklyn Nets. Coach, any thoughts, sir? Because they make me mad.
I really, 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 um, this soap opera, man. I can understand why he wanted, you know, like he want to be where he's at, want to be traded. I don't think this was planned properly, but he was part of the whole planning. So there's so much he can say, but yeah, we make mistakes, but I think the Nets won't trade him. Uh, he'll be there. And Ben Simmons, I don't know what's going to happen. I bet you KD played before Ben Simmons does. The way this thing's working out, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with him.
Did you
But
say KD gonna play before?
yeah, KD will play in New Jersey. Excuse me, in Brooklyn before Ben Simmons does. It'll be something else that goes on. I mean, timestamp it, mark it. You'll see.
I'm just, you snuck in a Ben Simmons joke. So with, I love it. So with that, LBJ is also in the news. LeBron James and the Lakers had a productive discussion. His agent and CEO of Clutch Sports, Rich Paul, told media no new deal's been agreed upon, but James and Paul met with Rob Pelinka as well as Darvin Ham. And James is eligible to sign a 2-year, $97.1 million contract extension. James is entering the final year of his contract worth $44.5 million. This is monopoly money. And James is going to be 38 at the end of the season. The max length of contract can be signed by a player 38 or over. It's 2 years according to the CBA. I didn't know that until I looked at that and saw, man, if you that old, you can only sign a 2-year deal. James has until June 30th to sign his extension. James could seek a 1-year deal so he can potentially play with his son, who is a rising recruit, but yeah, I don't know if he's an
Hmm.
NBA player. Mike, you are the Lakers guru, sir. You've got the floor. Any thoughts on LBJ, the meeting, possibly signing? What are you thinking?
It's a lot. This is a lot, man. It's a lot. I don't agree with Jeannie Buss taking advice from like other people outside the organization and then you know trying to make it to where uh everything was done because to make LeBron happy and everything. The person that needs to stand up is Rob Pelinka. I'm tired of hearing them talk about everybody in the Lakers organization, but the guy, he took all the damn credit for the bubble. He needs to take all the blame for right now. So I don't care what nobody say. That he's a GM. He's got to make that. Stop talking to Magic Johnson. Stop talking to so many other people, and stop bringing up names. Even LeBron. If Rob Pelinka had a set, he wouldn't even let LeBron run roughshod on him like this. If that's the case. If that's the case. So.
All right. And finally, with our supersized opening segment, Oh No Canada. Not Oh Canada, it's Oh No Canada. The NBA informed teams that players still need to have either received a primary course COVID vaccine or medical clearance in order to play games in Canada, because Canada ain't messing with you.
Nope.
Okay. The memo also states players should be ineligible to play in Canada's. Teams must list them as out for health and safety protocols, and they will lose their pay for any games missed due to not being vaccinated. And Toronto has money, and they're going to be in the postseason, I think. So this may be an issue. Um,
They get more wins.
the same rules apply both for going to Canada to play a game as well as for entering the United States. Anyone playing for the Raptors, therefore, would have to be vaccinated in order to play in games this season. Last season, the Raptors were fully vaccinated. Be prepared for more craziness, Mike. Any thoughts as we wrap up this first segment?
I'll say off air what I was thinking for, but yeah, I don't. I, I, them making the playoffs just shows you how bad their conference is. They should not be in the playoffs. Being honest with you, if they're a projected playoff team, it just shows you how bad it is. So,
All right, with that, fans, when we come back in segment two, strictly for entertainment purposes only, we're going to start to talk about the upcoming NBA season by sharing with you what Vegas thinks in terms of win totals and win projections. We'll be right back on the iCoaches podcast.
There is an old business adage that says, what gets measured and monitored gets done. It is also fact that deadlines spur action. That is what the CKA Save Project Academic Monitoring Service can do for student athletes. Measure and monitor their academic progress to improve their grades. Our academic monitoring services provide ongoing academic support for student athletes for a designated period of time. Our academic success coaches work with student athletes on time management and organizational skills, along with improving their ability to self-advocate. Every few weeks, our academic success coaches meet with student athletes to assess their academic progress as well as provide ongoing academic advising. If needed, student athletes have access to CKA Learning Specialists who provide virtual core subject academic support for student athletes. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free virtual consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment two. We're going to get started our NBA preseason conversations. Training camp opens up next month, about 4 weeks from now, give or take. And beginning next week, we'll take a deeper dive as we begin our road to opening night. But today, we're going to discuss things strictly for entertainment purposes only. So we're not going to go through everybody, but here are the projected win totals. So the top, let's see how this works. So the top 10 teams based on Vegas, starting with 54.5 wins: Celtics, Suns, Bucks, Warriors, Clippers, Sixers, Grizzly, Heat, Nuggets, Mavericks, and Timberwolves. That's 11, but they have the Mavericks and the T-Wolves with 48.5 wins. Mike, as you look at that list, what are your thoughts, man? Celtics, 54.5 wins. So they think the best team in the league will only win at most 55 games this season. So it doesn't look like a lot of dominance coming out.
well, 55 that's a lot of wins though. Out of 65, right?
No, it's an 82 game season.
Oh hell no!
It's an 82 game season. Not that they're going to play 82 games with the no players
Um,
playing 82 games. So sure,
yeah, definitely. So, ooh,
it's a lot of parity, man.
it is a lot of parity, but it's a lot of nights off. That's what the hell it is. It's a lot of nights off. But I think, damn, that's a lot, man. That's a lot. I give the Celtics 60 though. I give
Yeah, I
the
think I would take the over on the Celtics.
yeah.
I think I'll take the over on the Suns. I will definitely take the over on the Bucks because they got something to prove, man. They're
Not
kind of
only that, what about your boys out west? You know we love them favorite fucking play.
oh the Clippers, man.
No, your favorite regular season team of all time, man.
Oh,
Go ahead, man.
You
Go
said
ahead.
Utah is not there, but the Nuggets are there. Utah's done, but the Nuggets are there, and I don't know if I'm going to take the over because here's the deal: this is a new season, and the Clippers are healthy, okay, and they got Kawhi,
God.
they
Oh,
got
God.
playoff P. The list goes on and on.
Yeah. Keep
So
going. Keep
all
going, bro.
right, so we're going to go to the next 10 now.
Keep going, bro.
So the Hawks are, according to Vegas, 46 and a half wins. So that's where we're starting at. So here are the next 10: Hawks, Nets, Raptors, Bulls, Lakers, 44 and a half wins projected.
Damn.
Pelicans, I like the Pelicans. Cavaliers, Knicks, Trailblazers, and Hornets with 37 and a half wins. So in the next 10, who do you think can go up? And who do you think will go down? Go ahead and start with your Lakers at 44 and a half wins as a projected win total. You think they'll get over or under?
Not if they keep the team currently as structured. No, that's an under. I'm dead.
You're right.
Unless they make a trade.
Oh, I like the
Unless they
Pelicans, man. They got Zion back. And you know he's going to be in the tip-top condition. And they
have
got
you seen?
Brandon Ingram and whoever else is there.
They ought to have an over under on how many games he's gonna play.
Yeah, I'm sure they actually do. All right, so now we're going to go to the bottom 10. Shout out to our national NBA correspondent, Niece Jasmine. The Washington Wizards are scheduled to be 35.5. Over under on the Wizards, and then we'll go through the bottom. So we got the Wizards, Jazz, Kings, Pistons, Magic, Thunder, Pacers, Rockets, and the Spurs at 24 and a half.
What?
Over under. That's what they. Hey, I don't book it. I just work here.
Spurs and Rockets are over. Spurs and Rockets are over 20. Yeah, over 24 and a half. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I'll take the Spurs for over 24 and a half.
Okay. What about the Wizards? Over under 35 and a half. They got Bradley Beal with
How many
a
they
$6
need
billion contract.
How many they need to get in the playoffs again to the play-in game?
Man, they should be 7, 8, 9, 10, kind of, sort
I'm
of.
trying to think how many wins that is because that's how many they're gonna get, just enough to get in the play-in. So
Is that where we're going?
and no, I'm dead serious. So if that's 35 wins get you in the play-in or 40 wins get you in the play-in, then that's what they're gonna get. They're gonna get just enough to get in the play-in. And then after that, they'll lose. And then they'll come back and talk about how great they're trying to do for next year.
I wish they were better. I wish we had something to keep
Sure.
our OGs going.
Sure.
And the Washington Wizards and the Washington Commanders are another reason why we went national at the beginning of this thing because it's nothing local we care about. We don't care. So, all right, with that, in our final segment, we're going to preview the WNBA playoffs as today, the date of the taping, is the last day of the regular season. So we'll be right back on the Eye Coaches Podcast.
The reviews are in for Dr. Keith Adams' book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. College professor and student athlete academic expert Dr. Lisa Rubin said, "There is nothing out there like this book, so I do hope people will pay attention and give it a read." Former George Mason standout Fallon Campbell said, "Consider this book an opportunity to work directly with Dr. Adams just like I did. I assure you that there will be something you can take away that will be useful to you throughout your personal journey." Ryan Waite, a recent college graduate who is a software engineer, said, I like how the book is based on research, which makes it good for general students as well as student athletes. The book serves as both a memoir to Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes over 15 personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues from a variety of sports and endeavors. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. In segment 3, it is all WNBA as we get ready for the playoffs. So fans, we educate and incite and enlighten you. The WNBA playoffs has 4 playoff rounds. The top 2 seeds receive a bye to the semis, which is the 3rd round, Mike. And then the 3rd and 4th seeds receive a bye to the 2nd round. Teams will be reseeded after each postseason round. The 1st and 2nd rounds are single elimination. Okay, so that's some college stuff right there. In the 1st round, the 5 seed hosts the 8, and the 6 seed hosts the 7. In the 2nd round, the 3 seed hosts the lowest 1st round winner, and the 4 seed hosts the other 1st round winner. The semifinals features a best of 5 format with the number 1 overall seed playing the lowest remaining seed, and the 2nd overall seed. That'll be Las Vegas and Chicago in some order.
Some craziness.
Will face the other teams, and then the number 1 and number 2 seeds will host games 1, 2, and 5. Lower seed to host 3 and 4, and the finals remain best of 5 with the 2-2-1 format. So with that, yes, we're educators. Chicago Sky, it looks like they're going to be the number 1 seed. No, the Aces have now caught them, and it's going to the last day. Aces are on a 3-game winning streak. So, again, it will be the Aces or the Sky. I do not think the Connecticut Sun will catch them. So, we have Connecticut Sun.
I like the Sun, though.
I do. I do, too. The Storm, the Mystics, and the Dallas Wings have all clinched playoff spots. The Mystics will be the 5th seed. So that's kind of how it looks. So on the last day, and this will all be taken care of, Phoenix Mercury and the New York Liberty look like they're going to be in. If they win, they're in, and they both play today. But the Sparks had a horrible season, and the Indiana Fever, as predicted, they won 5 games, Mike. I'm looking for Las Vegas Aces Chicago Sky final. Everybody else, good luck. Give us a good fight. Make it interesting. But can you see anybody else, beating them? Beating the Aces or the Sky?
No, I can't beat any. I don't see nobody beating it in the series. No,
Yeah, that's
no, not at all. No,
all
not
right.
at all.
So that's our prediction, and we're going to move on to other updates. So we do have a Brittany Griner update. After nearly 6 months in Russian custody, Brittany Griner was sentenced to 9 years in prison and will begin her stay in a Russian penal colony.
It's crazy.
The WNBA star and her lawyers asked for leniency after being allegedly found with less than a gram of hash oil in her luggage. But the Russian court sentenced her to 9 years, just below the maximum of 10. There is hope that she could be released earlier. They're putting together a prisoner exchange package that is more complicated than you would ever know. So after reading some publications, I'd like to kind of share with my partner in the audience what prison will be like for BG according to these articles. She'll work for 8 hours a day. Most prisoners sew, clean, cook, serve food, but they're trying to get her to be a coach. That's what they're working for, her attorneys and everyone. So each morning, the prisoners are awoken at 6 a.m. They wash, they dress, they make their beds, stand for attention. go to breakfast, and then start their 8-hour workday. Um, and it's going to not be fun. Prisoners do get free time outside of their work. Prisoners are supposed to get minimum wage of $180 a month, which they can spend in the prison shop on toiletries and fresh fruit, vegetables, and they can also pay for the internet to send emails. Conditions will be tough, and tuberculosis is common in the colonies. Many prisoners are malnourished. They lack for medical care, and most need friends and family to send them food and basic supplies. And for some prisoners, that isn't even possible. So, Mike, as we said from the beginning, this is real. Um, any thoughts other than our prayers to Brittany and her
Yeah,
family?
it's sad to see the way it's shaping up. I feel bad for her being caught in a situation. I think the biggest thing I'm concerned about is the fact that uh, she had to go over to play because we don't financially compensate them here well enough. But also, that's due to a lack of fan support. So we can't really blame the people who run the league. Can't blame the players. She's doing what she got to do to eat. I'm sure if they offered me money to coach in an extra season like that overseas, somewhere like that, I'd probably be on the plane too, just in order to be compensated. But I tell you one thing for sure, I would not be carrying nothing in my luggage though. I'd be scared to death. But that's just me.
Yes, and a lot of people feel the same way you do. I had a chance to talk to some viewers and some other folks, and they pretty much said the same thing that Coach just said. Look, man, you know where you're going, but pay attention.
Yeah.
So, speaking of travel woes, they continue. Los Angeles Sparks standout Neka Agumake said via social media that transformational growth in the WNBA is being impeded by continued travel issues. Uh, the Sparks were stuck at Dulles Airport in Virginia after their victory over the Mystics. After two delays, the flight was canceled. This is needling my partner as well. Side
Ah,
joke about flight delays. Multiple sources said in the media that Sparks were offered hotels. So everybody was offered a hotel room. They were not offered a hotel room at the same hotel because of
whoa,
the limitations. So some of them just said, look, we'll just stay at the
whoa.
airport because by the time we do all that maneuvering, it's going to be time for our flight anyway. The WNBA, as you know, does not charter flights due to prohibitive costs. League Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has said that many times, but the league will charter for all flights for the WNBA finals.
You know what I
Um,
mean?
so let's talk about the WNBA CBA. The most recent collective bargaining agreement signed in January 2020 does not include charters, and league rules prohibit any of the 12 teams from individually opting to charter, as that could create, wait for it, a competitive disadvantage. It was revealed earlier this year that the New York Liberty was fined $500,000, and Mike believes he found where the money came from
Yeah.
for using charters at times last season. Um, the commissioner denied a report that the Liberty owner, Joe Tsai, who's also the owner of the Brooklyn Nets, offered the league a plan that would charter for all WNBA teams. So, Mike, as we transition to the playoffs, and we'll focus on playoffs moving forward, um, any final thoughts this season on the competitive disadvantage or advantage
Did you
of
say Commissioner's Cup? Is that what you said?
the Commissioner's Cup?
Is that what you said?
I say, look, man, he was fined $500,000, and it just so happens, Kawiki Dinky, that the Commissioner's Cup pot was $500,000. I'm not saying anything, but
Woo!
that's kind of a, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yo, I'm just telling you, man, this shit happens. It's quick. Hey, I know what we can do with the money. No. But no, man. I think it's too early to be talking about expansion for them now. We need to slow the expansion talk and take care of what we got. And I say we just, I'm not, just saying what we got. I'm just saying that. But they need to settle it in right now, close it in, and really focus on what they have and take care of the athletes they have in there now. And I think that'll make the game better, especially if it's more secure. I think if it was a more secure league, when I say secure, there's more of a certainty to it, and the women don't have to worry about going overseas because who knows who's saving themselves to go make the real money overseas? Who knows if they're comfortable? Are they comfortable with giving everything they have right now because they know they still got to earn? Like, let's take all that out of their mind and let's have them focus on being here. So if we don't focus on them, they can't focus on the league. It's just that simple.
All right. And in our last portion of the show, the WNBA All League team has made a change. And I like the change, Mike. The WNBA is changing the selection process for its All League first and second team, going to a positionless format. So the league previously required voters to pick 2 guards, 2 forwards, and 1 center. That's your Jokic argument. The league's all rookie team, stop that, was already positionless and will stay that way. However, the WNBA all defensive first and second teams will be continued to be based on position. Who votes on this? A national media panel of 56 sports writers. Broadcasters vote on WNBA season-ending awards. Other than the Executive of the Year award, which is voted on by the league executives, and the Peak Performance Awards, which are presented to the regular season leaders in points, rebounds, and assists. So, do you like the positionless format for all league, and do you think the NBA should do the same thing?
I like it more in the WNBA than I do the NBA. Like the WNBA is perfect because the way they play is totally positionless. It is. It's more skill, and it's more skill. Yes, I'm saying it. It's more skill in the women's game than it is the men's game. At some point, it's about athleticism and things like that in the men's game, but the women's game is more skilled. So I like it being positionless. I like that. Now the NBA needing to stay away from it. Just stay away from it. You're not ready for that yet. You can't even pick the right MVP. So let's that.
Jokic was very deserving. Okay. All right, fans. Next week, we are going to begin our NBA previews along with following the WNBA playoffs, including an in-depth discussion about the 2022 Racial and Gender Report Card of the National Basketball Association by the Institute of Sport and Social Justice. Shout out to our good friend Garnett Overby III, who gave us a phenomenal Find the Balance interview. Mike, before we leave, anything for the good of the order, sir?
Can't wait to see this the NBA this year. I hope they solve all those issues. WNBA playoffs, I'm ready for that. Let's go.
Give me some Chicago and give me some Vegas
yes.
Aces. I want to see Candace
Yes.
Parker. I want to see Becky Hammonds draw up her strategy. Kelsey Plum. Sorry about the trophy. I want to see Kelsey Plum. I want to see all of that, man. So that's good.
Shout out real quick. Traveling Queen, 3-year deal with the 76ers. His dad and I grew up together over in Pioneer City. Shout out to Fats and the family. Congratulations, young fella. Keep working.
And speaking of Pioneer City, shout out to AJ Francis, to Hootie and B-Fab for coming back to SmackDown. Jiminy Crickets, you made an old man pop off the couch.
Yeah.
And with that, on behalf of my tag team partner, Coach Mike Francis, I am Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast. And we will see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach FRANCHIZE. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.